Let's move in now. Thomas is dialed in from Cochin. Thomas, how can we help you?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I have a small land in Cochin, and this is a residential property. Okay, it's a plot with a small house in it, and the local government body has taken over a certain piece of the land for the road widening.
Okay.
And as a compensation, as against this small piece of land which has been taken over, they have given me another land, which is from the government land bank. And this means this is apparently an exchange deed. Like as against my property, they have given us another piece of property in somewhere in the city. So my question is whether this transaction, an exchange transaction, is taxable or not.
That's a very interesting question, especially when there's such a lot of development going around across the country, Jayesh. Does Thomas have to pay tax?
Okay. Thomas, very interesting situation, and I think people face this situation that whether it is taxable, not taxable, and if it is taxable, then there is a kind of payment of taxes or that results into a cash outflow despite there being a cash coming into your own pocket. Now, what the taxation law says that the taxable event arises when there is a transfer of an asset. The transfer definition in Code 247 is very wide enough to include even an exchange. So, when in a government acquisition, what is happening that you are exchanging the one land with another land. So, therefore, that exchange technically would fit within the meaning of the transfer, and since it is a transfer, it will become a taxable transfer under Code 45 of the Income Tax Act. And therefore, you will have a situation that you will have to pay tax on your original cost of the land minus the market value of the new land that you have received, and therefore that would be what you call it as the capital gain, and on which you would be liable to capital gains tax. Unfortunately, here the exemption which is available under section 54 or code 54 of the Income Tax Act will not help, because the exchange is of the land and not of the house property. Had it been a kind of a situation that your old house is being taken over by the government and a new house is given, then potentially you would have, I would say, a fallback or a shelter under code 54, and you would not have paid tax. But here, because it's a land, you would be required to pay the tax.
But that's not fair. The government is giving you with one hand and is taking away with the other hand. That's essentially what's happening in this particular case.
Yeah, but it still tantamount to an exchange, Kavita, because take an example that you have bought a land for say 5 lakhs, and today the market value of the land is 5 crore, and the government gives you another land equivalent of 5 crore. So effectively, what is happening that you are exchanging one land with the other land. So both the lands are completely different, and therefore to that extent it will become a taxable event.
So Thomas,
unfortunately, instead of paying you in cash, the government has given you a compensation in the form of another asset. So had there been a kind of a house property, then yes, one could have argued that yes, it is a exchange of land with house property, and therefore one can I would say think of applying code 54 F over there and say that whether the exemption is still available or not available, depending on Thomas owning a house at that point in time or not.
So unfortunately, Thomas, in your case, it's land for land, so you will have to pay tax on it, and you will not be able to avail any capital gains exemption on that particular transaction.
But Kavita, let me just clarify that when he pays tax on the, I would say, the market value of the land that he got, so that market value will qualify as a cost when he's selling that new land kind of thing. So it's a preponement of tax kind of in that sense.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/magicbricksnow. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at magicbricksnow. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/magicbricksnow.